from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, January 25th. So today we have the moon moving out of this Pisces energy and moving into Aries energy. This is essentially our fresh start, our brand new beginning in this lunar cycle. Aries energy gives us a spark, gives us a fire, gives us a flame, gives us the green light go ahead to actually take action, initiate something new, pursue a path of happiness, of wants, of needs, of desire. And with the particular lunar phase that we're in, building towards the first quarter moon in Taurus on Saturday, we are definitely in a position, especially considering the new moon in Aquarius that we just had. We are finally in a stage where we are willing to pull the trigger on aligning with a path, with a decision, with a choice, with a direction, and we will see a forward movement. This is very exciting for many of us, but we do have half of the day still in this Piscean energy, which typically speaking is going to get a little bit heavy before it gets lighter. And then when we shift into that Aries moon, we are definitely going to feel that get up and go. Now, there are 12 different aspects here today. 10 of them involve the moon. We have the moon in Pisces going void, of course, at 11:12 a.m., locking into Aries energy 1:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let me just say that there's going to be a huge focus here today on relationships, on our self-worth, on our self-value, on our money matters. Why is that? Because today is the last day that Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money, will be in Aquarian energy. She will be shifting into Pisces energy. This wraps up the very last astro event for January and is definitely going to be a highly emotional one. Go ahead, take a listen to that astro forecast if you haven't already, or January 2023 energy forecast for the rundown on how January's energy is definitely going to position us for February, which is a very interesting month. So, with that being said, the moon goes ahead, bumps into Mercury in a very positive way. This is our heart and our head coming together, getting on the same page. And let me just say that with Mercury now direct, still in the post-shadow period, but direct nonetheless, in Capricorn energy, we are down to earth, very logical and practical in our thinking, which works very well for us because the moon in Pisces energy is very dreamy, very imaginative, kind of, out there in la la land, but we have the capabilities right now to align with a new passion, a new desire, a new inspiration, and we're able to actually bring that into the lower level intellect that Mercury rules over and make sense of how it is that we can bring some of these elements to life. The moon goes ahead, comes up to conjunct sit next to Neptune, who of course is in Pisces energy in its place of power. This is I'm going to say, highly sensitive particular aspect. Why is that? Well, because we're all up in this water energy. We got some Pisces on Pisces energy action here. Neptune rules over the moon being in Pisces. This is about our intuition. This is about our emotions. Hopefully, we can keep them on the lighter side rather than the shadow realm. But let me just say, if we can tap into the higher vibration and frequency of this is going to mean that we are kind of having some epiphany, some aha moments on what it is that we want, we need, we desire, what it is we want to create and bring to life, what it is that we're now passionate about, what it is that we now want to pursue. If we do allow those negative energies to kind of tap in and manifest, this is likely going to be so overwhelming, so hypersensitive that we're just want to curl up in a ball and live in la la land. We're not going to want to deal with life. We're not going to want to kind of stay the course. We are going to want to run and hide from some of the particular aspects coming up in our face right now. It can feel very disconnecting, very overwhelming, very confusing, but I'm hoping that with these energies and the heads up that you'll be able to kind of channel in the higher vibrations and frequency of this particular aspect, because it is very dreamy, very beautiful, very inspiring. The moon goes ahead, semi-squares the true node. This is our soul path, our destiny point. And a semi-square does kind of suggest a little bit of friction, a little bit of tension. Why is that? Because we don't really know how to move ahead. Why is that? Because we're disconnecting from the truth, the logic, the practicality of the here and now. We're living in a fantasy realm. That is the moon in Pisces, really giving us a little bit of a break from our here and now, but of course we can't disassociate from the here and now for too long because we have a lot of work to do. That work is coming in hot and heavy when the moon goes ahead and bumps into Saturn. Saturn, who wants to deliver us a little bit of reality check, to knock on our head and say, hey, come out to play. You have a lot to accomplish, a lot to clean up here in this physical realm. You can't just curl up in a ball and lose yourself in a fantasy land. We have things to do. The Saturn energy, being in Aquarius, is definitely futuristically focused, but focused on what it is that we want for ourselves in a futuristic sense so that we can take control over the smaller aspects here in the run of our day, in the here and now, that will essentially line up in order to bring some of those greater, grander visions to life. We have a lot of boundaries that we have to take a good look at, especially in our personal relationships, with Venus, of course, wrapping up her particular chapter and life lesson in Aquarius energy today. And those boundaries are definitely going to feel heavy and weighted. Pay good attention to some of the, I'm going to say, weight of the roles and responsibilities weighing on you in your life right now. That is a good indicator on what is changing, what it is that we have to kind of build a new foundation for in order for us to feel a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, to actually move forward. The moon is going to bump into Mars, which is a beautiful energy. This is definitely getting us fired up in all the right ways to align with a path, an idea, a goal, a vision, a dream, a choice point that we are ready to take action upon. Consider the fact that Mars is about action, passion, desire, motivation, determination, even anger, and has been in Gemini energy, sitting on the fence, debating the pros and cons of all the different choices, all the different options. He is now ready to pull the trigger and find himself actively pursuing a new path, a new calling, a new mission, a new desire. And with this Pisces energy, we're very, very imaginative. We're definitely inspired. We are connected to our higher self and our intuition. And it's feeling pretty good that these particular aspects of ourselves are lining up. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Venus, who, as I mentioned, is nearing the very final degrees of this Aquarian energy, preparing to shift into Pisces energy here on the 26th. And this particular interaction isn't the most pleasant one. It's actually an awkward one. And a lot of this is because the moon in Pisces has us kind of in love, in love with a fantasy, in love with a dream. And we are very realistic, logical, and practical in this Aquarian energy that Venus is sitting in. And she's been acting as the observer, really taking stock of her personal relationships on what and who makes her happy, makes her feel safe, makes her feel supported, and has had some profound realizations on where it is that she either A, wants to grow closer and really pursue a new level of connection and intimacy, especially with her personal relationships, or B, where space and distance is needed and new boundaries need to be implemented in order to actually create that freedom and independence that she is looking for. So there is a little bit of a disconnect between emotionally knowing what it is that we want, need, and desire, because part of us wants the dream, wants the fantasy, while the other part of us knows that that fantasy can never truly exist in our physical realms. The moon is going to sextile, which is a beautiful energy, with Pluto, the great transformer himself. This is a sextile. This is a positive blending of energies, which does mean that there is some kind of inner realm change and transformation and shift taking place. This is pushing us into a place of power. This is pushing us into a realization on where it is that we need to boss up and take control over our lives if we stand a chance at all of bringing some of our dreamy, imaginative fantasy elements to life. Now, of course, you hear me talk about very, very often about how first the change needs to happen in the psyche, then it needs to happen in the heart space. Then when the heart and the head agree, we can engage the physical body in order to take action. We are almost there. However, there's still some healing, still some transforming, still some perspective changing aha moments and inspirations that need to take place in order to have a total shift of the heart. This is the last aspect that the moon in Pisces is going to make before going void, of course. Things get shaky, things get uncertain, we question everything, things seem to fall apart when the moon goes void. But luckily for us, it's a very short period of time before the moon will lock into Aries energy. Just moments before it actually does lock into Aries energy, the last aspect that the moon in Pisces, although void of course, is going to make is a semi-square with Uranus, the great awakener himself, who is wakening up to a new level of awareness since going direct on the 22nd. And this is going to create a little bit of, I'm going to say, emotional chaos in our inner realms. It needs to be a reminder that a certain level of chaos always takes place right before a very powerful breakthrough. This is definitely one of those situations, one of those scenarios, and the breakthrough is coming in the form of the universe giving us A, a lot of clarity, and B, a green light go ahead to actually take action and align with the path in which we are willing to pursue. So the moon shifts into this Aries energy at 1:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next aspect that we actually have is at 3:56 p.m. and it's between Venus and Pluto. Now, this is a very interesting aspect for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's an awkward one, which creates a little bit of a tension point, an opportunity to choose, an opportunity to learn, to implement what it is that we've realized in our inner realms in our exterior reality. The other interesting point here is that Venus, who rules over the year of 2023 as the vibration of 7, who ruled over the moon in Taurus as we entered into 2023, who made a very powerful aspect with Pluto as we came into 2023, is now preparing at the 29th degree of Aquarius to wrap up this particular life lesson and to dive into Piscean energy. Venus interacting with Pluto in this way may feel very heavy, may feel very weighted. We're tapping into the shadow realm of the dark feminine energy. This is nothing to run away from. This is nothing to scour from. This is something that you should step into, as the dark feminine energy does not mess around. She's tapping into her warrior type of mentality and definitely positioned to remind herself that if she does not make the changes that she has to make to her physical realm, especially where her personal relationships are concerned, that she will continue to be a co-star to the people that she puts higher above her in the movie that is her life. Venus being in Aquarian energy for the last couple of weeks should have shown us where boundaries are needed in our personal relationships so that we can remain as the individual while still being part of something bigger. Pluto energy reminds us of all the pain and the trauma and the suffering of all the instances that we gave our power away and what that actually meant for us. And in 2022, we had a huge empowerment struggle with Pluto as Venus was retrograde in Capricorn at that time, did the little bit of a dance with this god of the underworld devil, Pluto himself, if you will, and we bossed up big time. Now, coming into 2023, this particular lesson has been about boundaries, has been about independence, has been about shifting our perspective on who and what makes us happy and creating the kind of distance and space needed in order to cut the cord with things that are blocking us from actually creating a reality that feels good, that is safe, secure, and stable for us. This particular energy is definitely going to have us focused on our personal relationships and the changes in the energy exchange and the relationship dynamic that is needed so that we can actually move forward and protect ourselves in a way that means that we will not kind of be consumed with the energy of the people that we choose to share our lives with. The moon in Aries gets to make its very first aspect at 10:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a very long time. You know, we had the moon move into Aries energy 1:49 p.m. It does nothing until 10:19 p.m. But boy, oh boy, what an aspect it is going to make. The moon comes up to, bumps into, sits next to Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings, who is also in Aries energy. We got some fire on fire action here. And what this particular aspect does is it gives us a sense of direction. It elevates our mood. It boosts our confidence. It inspires us to put ourselves out there and pursue paths of happiness and joy in an all new consuming kind of way. It puts us in a situation where we're able to articulate and express ourselves with a lot of gusto, which is beautiful. And it gives us what I would call the inner spark, the inner fire, the inner flame to initiate whatever it is that we have been sitting on the fence about, whatever it is that we've been debating between, whatever it is that we've been waiting for this green light go ahead from the universe to actually go out and pursue. The more amazing aspect to this is that only 40, well, no, not even 40 minutes later, we have Mercury making a very positive aspect with Neptune. When Mercury and Neptune come together, it is a manifesting energy. Why is that? Because Neptune is ruling over our higher, I'm going to say, ability to dream, to tap into inspirations, to create a vision for ourselves where a new mission, a new calling is pushing us outside of our comfort zones to actually pursue something in a brand new territory. And Mercury, the lower level intellect that rules over logic and practicality, is in Capricorn energy, the great manifester of the zodiac, who has the ability to take the dreams and the visions and the ideas and the aha moments and the inspirations that we're gaining from this Neptune energy, and we're able to bring it to life. This is a powerful energy, especially following the previous aspect that we just had between the moon and Jupiter, because it is essentially putting forth the energy and effort, the strategy, the mythology that we've actually been taking our time in pursuing while Mercury was retrograde, then coming direct, then sorting out our thoughts and feelings, then strategizing on how it is that we're going to move forward. And now we're able to actually do something with it. This is the point in the week that I talked about in the Ascension forecast where we actually get the green light go ahead to take action, to make some moves. Now, the last aspect that we have here today is the moon in Aries sextiling with the sun in Aquarius. This is a beautiful thing. This ignites within us this want, this need, this desire to be the first person to, go out and initiate this chapter, to bring this idea to life, to follow this mission, to uphold this, I'm going to say, responsibility to go out in the world and create something new. We want to be first. We have this aggressiveness. We even have this element of competitiveness kind of creeping up within us. But here's the thing. This is bringing a whole lot of clarity. The sun is shining a bright light on our future, on the breakthrough energy, on the aha moments, on the inspiration that we need to really align with, to have the physical energy, the excitement, the fire, the flame, the inspiration to stay motivated and determined enough to actually see things through. That's the downside of the Aries energy, is that we go balls to the walls and we never even see anything come into fruition because we burn ourselves out long before we ever reach our goal. This is, I'm going to say, the green light go ahead to get an epiphany, to get an idea, to gain that clarity, and then to really identify what that means for us. We know what we want now. We know what we want to pursue. We're acting in a certain realm of harmony within our inner realm, and now we're gifted with the green light go ahead by the cosmos to actually align with that idea, that mission, that purpose, and to take action where we are able to kind of validate to the universe and to ourselves that, hey, this is the path that I'm pouring my blood, sweat, and tears in, and this is the end goal that I will stop at nothing until I pursue.